I want to just share with you another devotion on the fruit of the Spirit. Today we're going to look at the fruit of the Spirit is joy. Paul wrote to the Thessalonians in what is known as his first letter to them in chapter 5 verse 16, always be joyful. That might seem like an impossible ask that the apostle is putting on the Thessalonian church. We might also think it's an impossible aspiration for us to even come close to achieving. It will be impossible if we begin from an understanding that joy equates to happiness. Happiness is usually a state of positive emotions because we're enjoying life and our circumstances are conducive to us feeling good about ourselves and about life. But the issue is no one ever has a continuous experience of positive circumstances that produce ongoing and unbroken happiness. Paul also didn't just communicate this idea to the Thessalonian believers, he also stated it to the Philippian church, implying that this concept of always being joyful doesn't just apply to some believers in certain contexts, but to all believers, whatever their situations. Paul wrote in Philippians 4:4, always be full of joy in the Lord. I say it again, rejoice. Paul doubly emphasized the essential need for us to be joyful. It's important that we link this understanding of being continuously full of joy to the notion that the joy is a fruit of the Spirit that is inwardly produced, regardless of what is happening in our lives. This connects with what Paul wrote to the Philippian believers when he wrote in chapter 3 verse 1, whatever happens, my dear brothers and sisters, rejoice in the Lord. Paul breaks the link of our joy being to do with our personal events. Our rejoicing needs to be centered in the Lord. In the midst of the most difficult situations, we can be so filled with joy because the Lord is always with us, whatever our challenges and trials. Paul could be joyful in the most harrowing and traumatic circumstances that he went through because he'd learnt the secret of living with grace and contentment in every situation. You see, because the Spirit was within him, he could draw strength from Christ and the inner empowering of the Holy Spirit. If we try and face life in our own strength and engineered solutions, then we can lose our joy and we can lose that sense of contentment. We cannot possibly sustain a life of joy in our own strength, but the Spirit can produce joy within us, whatever is going on around us in our lives. The Spirit can produce that sense of joy within us when we allow Him to be the most significant influencer in our personal world.